full hour of airtime as subject of a two-part interview hosted by Dick Cavett, the thinking person's talk show host, whose face, as a New Yorker ad promised, had launched 1,000 quips. Cavett was known for hosting some of the world's most revered names in music, politics, and show business, from Groucho Marx and Katharine Hepburn to Bobby Seale, the co-founder of the Black Panthers. Cavett did one two-part interview a week. Just before the twins, he devoted it to the African-American novelist Toni Morrison, who had recently won the National Book Critics Circle Award for Song of Solomon. Just after, to the Italian director Federico Fellini. Now, as upbeat theme music played, photographs of twins flashed across the screen. Twin cheerleaders, twin pianists, twin ballerinas, twin basketball players, until twin Cavetts appeared, a double image produced on the monitor by engineers in the control room. The audience laughed hysterically. "This is Dick Cavett saying good evening, and don't touch your TV set. There is nothing wrong with your picture," said the host in his flat Midwestern accent. "You're not having double vision either. You may have deduced by now that you are looking at pictures of twins." The camera panned straight to his interview subjects, Frances McLaughlin Gill and Catherine McLaughlin Abbey, the twins who had taken the pictures. Still beautiful at 61, they looked remarkably alike, with the same strongly modeled cheekbones, arched eyebrows, and carefully coiffed shoulder-length blonde hairdos, although Frances's was more of a page boy, with the ends turned under, and Catherine's more of a bob, with the ends flipped up. They were dressed almost identically, too, in pink-flowered blouses and tan skirts, differentiated only in that Frances wore a scarf around her neck, while Catherine wore a vest. Yet, as soon as the conversation began, their dissimilarities became clear. Catherine smiled and gushed, telling Cavett straight away, "I like you as twins." Frances looked politely bored, her eyebrows raised in a slightly haughty fashion, as if echoing the supermodels she had photographed for 3 decades at Vogue. She only warmed up when Cavett asked which twin jokes they hated most. As Catherine offered up lots of ideas, "The worst thing you can do is call them Twinny or make up nicknames, or tell them, 'I must be drunk, I'm seeing double.'" Frances tersely said, "Which twin has the Tony?" A reference to the old Home Permanent ad campaign featuring twins, then lapsed back into silence. Both McLaughlins were among the fairly small group of women to have enjoyed long and successful careers as photographers. Frances had spent 30 years as a photographer for the Condé Nast publishing empire, 10 as the only woman among an otherwise all-male top-level staff. Catherine, after a brief career in fashion, was best known as a photographer of children, with lucrative projects at general interest magazines such as Good Housekeeping and Parents. They were not on the show, however, to discuss their unusual careers. They had been invited to talk about being identical twins and about their book, for which they had photographed 26 pairs of twins and talked to hundreds more about their relationships. Twins such as Samuel and Emmanuel Lucier, who at the age of 100 were then the world's oldest identical twins. Faye and Kay Young, pro basketball players, who had told the McLaughlins how shocked their mother had been by their birth. Peter and Paul Frame, dancers with the New York City Ballet, who spoke of the difficulty of always being seen as the same person rather than as individuals. And the Rowe and the Richmond twins, who had married one another and lived together in the same house. "I think if you're going to go off and marry twins, you set yourself up for quite a bit of attention," Catherine said. "Of course, everyone wants to know about the living arrangements," Frances said to Cavett. "I'd like to know about yours, but you don't get asked." At that moment, in New York creative circles, twins were regarded as somewhat freakish curiosities. The photographer Diane Arbus, whom Frances had photographed several times before Arbus committed suicide in 1971, was now celebrated for her pictures of social and...
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.